This is Steve from Boxing UK in association with Supreme CBD. Delighted to be joined by Eddie Hearn. First of all, Eddie, congratulations to your dad.
Yeah, it's good. OBE. He's got his little medal now that I'm sure he won't mention too much, but no, well deserved. And 73 years old, probably 40 plus years in sport. You know, working across all sports to provide opportunities for athletes, and well deserved.
Before we talk about this card, you've just gotten back from Dubai. Any little tidbits or secrets you can tell us?
No, just number of site visits. You know, talking to people about people that want to stage events in that region. So just doing our work on behalf of our fighters, and back here now for a big show on Saturday.
We have to start with the press conference. Can you sing?
Well, you tell me. I mean, I just, Derek, he makes you very uncomfortable. Yeah. That's the best way to describe it. You know, when he pulled that thing down, it's like...
Do you genuinely not know what he's going to do, Eddie?
Never,
like, not a clue?
Never, because that's the art of surprise.
Yeah.
And that's how he likes to put people on edge. I've learned how to take it a little bit, you know, and I think with... I used to be a lot more on edge. Higgins was petrified because you just don't know what he's going to do, you know. And Dell's sort of is always edgy, but I think both guys underestimate the value of the crowd in this fight. We have a big crowd on Saturday. I think Derek's last two fights have been Usyk and Parker, both behind closed doors. I think it's going to lift him a lot, and I see this fight does not go the distance. You know, Andy Lee talks about Parker's going to hold his feet, he's going to engage. If he does, you're going to get 6-7 rounds of absolute brutal warfare, and someone will get knocked out.
You say it won't go the distance, Eddie. Do you think they will stand and trade?
I do actually, yeah, because I think he can't afford a lackluster win. Do you know what I mean? I just don't like. Last time it was a good fight, but it was too close. You know, some thought Chisora won. If Parker wants to go out and establish himself as a real, world title challenger, he's got to make a statement.
Yeah.
And I think he needs to do that. And the way he does that is by knocking Chisora out.
Can I ask where you think the winner goes and where you think the loser goes?
I think different for both. You know, Joe just wants to fight for the world heavyweight title. He wants to become a 2-time heavyweight world champion. Yeah. Chisora just wants to fight. He's a prize fighter. He loves fighting for money and the thrill. So he'll always be. Opponent's a disrespectful word, but he'll always be a guy you can call on for a great fight. But at the same time, I'm sure he doesn't want to be that either. But I don't think Derek's sitting there going, if I win this fight, I could get a shot at the world heavyweight title. He just wants to fight. And I think he'd fight if he was in a 6th round, let alone a 12 round. But I guess every time, people talk about his defeats. Look at 2 of them have come to Tyson Fury. 2 of them have come to Dillian Whyte in very, very competitive close fights. Jospeh Parker, forget the Caballero one, that was a nightmare. Derek Chisora in that fight. You know what I mean? So one was to Vitaly Klitschko, right? One was to David Haye. I mean, you're going to lose at that level, but he always brings entertainment and people love to watch him.
You say about Derek not going for world title fights, Eddie. Did you see Tyson Fury's hit list the other day?
Put Chisora on there.
Chisora trilogy?
I go back to, he's always a guy. Like someone said to me, what happens if Chisora loses? So I'll tell you what he does. He fights Zhang. He fights Areola. He fights Ruiz. Yeah. He fights Wilder. He's the perfect guy. But you don't want Derek to become an opponent. But at the same time, he loves to fight. And whilst he's looking good in fights, which he is, like, he had a close fight with Usyk. Usyk won the fight, but it was 115, 113.
History's put a good shade on that
really
one, Eddie.
Good, especially behind closed doors.
Yeah. The rest of the card,
brilliant.
Up until a couple of days ago, Lerone Richards was going to be fight of the night.
Yeah.
But that new opponent for Jack Collins, a bit tasty.
That's how I feel bad for Jack. He's got a great opportunity, but he's got a much tougher fight than he had. You've got 4 brilliant 50-50 fights on this card. Chisora Parker, of course. Lerone Richards against Gongora, great fight. Gongora's a favourite in that fight. Zelfa Barrett against Torimo is going to be an absolute war. And Cullen against Sajo is going to be brutal. Throwing a bit of Alan Babbage and Jordan Thompson and David Naika and Sandy Ryan and Cyrus Patterson and Rhiannon Dixon. You've got a brilliant card, brilliant end to the year.
Can I ask about 2021?
Sure.
It's probably the most turbulent year of you and Matchroom, but what would you put down as the main successes of 2021, Eddie?
Surviving, firstly. I mean, tomorrow night in Uzbekistan is our 43rd show of the year, across, I think, 9 or 10 different countries. 44 on Saturday. It's a good effort. I mean, when you look at the highlights, you go back to earlier in the year, going back to crowds with Canelo against Yildirim at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Estrada against Chocolatito 2, probably the fight of the year for me. Breaking the indoor record with Canelo against Billy Joe Saunders at Dallas Cowboys, 75,000. Haney beating Linares in Vegas. Although it hurt, Joshua against Usyk at Spurs, 60, 70,000. MSG for Haney Kambosos against Lopez, probably one of my favourite highlights of the year. Diaz against Haney last week. Conor Benn's great win. Like, you know, there's so much. Headingley going back there with Warrington. Like, it's been an amazing year. And sometimes when you go week to week, you never really sit back and look at what you've done or accomplished. So the team's done a great job. Couldn't have done it without them. And 2022 will be even bigger. It will come with the same bumps. I think it's going to come early. You know what I mean? In the year, you might have to go behind closed doors in January.
I was going to ask that with the latest news, Eddie. Are you prepared for that?
We are prepared for it. We don't want to do it, but we will do it. We've done it before. We know how to do it. But it's just a step back we don't want to take. Do you know what I mean? So we'll have to see. We'll get through Saturday night and then we'll have a look.
And Dazn? Big year for you in Dazn this year, hasn't it?
I mean, you know,
would you class it as a success, Eddie?
Huge success. Particularly, I mean, the launch over here has been a big success. We're only 5 months in. America has been a massive success for Dazn. Obviously, with a couple of Canelo Alvarez fights, the back end of the year with Haney Diaz, with Kambosos against Lopez. You know, subscriber numbers continue to thrive over there. People getting pissed off, quite frankly, with pay-per-views every single week, are looking at Dazn and saying, this is where I'm getting my value. Same in the UK, the price point, unbelievable value. Got big year coming next year, and not just in the US and the UK. Australia becoming a massive growth area for Dazn. You know, Italy, Spain, Mexico, Canada. We're seeing tremendous growth for boxing there, and that's where a lot of my big success is coming. I feel like, for me personally, is seeing that growth globally.
You mentioned 2022, Eddie. We spoke to Frank afterwards, Frank Smith, not Frank Warren, on Saturday, about the Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua Usyk. He said everything can change. Couldn't pin him down to what he thinks would happen. Can I ask you, what do you genuinely think will happen in 2022 regarding the heavyweight division? I
mean, I think Fury will probably fight Whyte, and then obviously Dillian Whyte will knock him out, and then with a big left hook, and then AJ will rematch Usyk, and AJ will beat Usyk, and then we'll do AJ against Dillian for the undisputed. I don't know. He's right. Anything can happen. We're prepared for everything, and you know, we'll make sure that we do the right thing by all our guys.
Last one. Are you looking forward to the rest, Eddie? Because you've never stopped.
Yeah. Not really. No, I mean, we've got the darts going on throughout Christmas, so I'll be over there as well. But the rest that happens now for 3 or 4 weeks is just a rest of events. The planning is more intense over this period than it is over any other period of the year, because you're gearing up your schedule. January, February, March, April. So, but that's exciting because you're planning and thinking and structuring. But we will put the feet up for a little bit, maybe get a little bit of sun, and
some Christmas turkey.
Hopefully everyone stay safe. Absolutely.
And the karaoke.
Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. I was offended by my voice.
Eddie, on camera, can I just thank you for your time?
Cheers, mate.
You do make sure that you speak to every member of the press and me. So thank you, and have a Merry Christmas, Eddie.
Cheers, mate.